Well, round 4 of the PlayStation 4 GT3 League live here and exclusive on Twitch.tv for Excite Racing League. Good evening to you all. I'm Pete Markrup, as usual, back in the box. We are here at Mazda's Laguna Seca in California, United States of America. Glorious times for... I just realised I had a bit of a blowback there. I do apologise for all you listening to that live. Yeah, so we are live in California, America. Absolutely golden sunshine here. We've got a large, quick time progression this week. It's going to be 5 times. So it's highly likely it's going to start in the sunshine and progress to darkness. Before we go any further, though, I'd like to bring you the update for the current championship standings as we stand here in this division. And it's a very new league. First time we've ever done this here on PlayStation 4. So at the moment, in first place, we've got Killer Ramsey on a staggering 93 points out of 100. A magnificent performance there. Second place is Bobby Swagger, 96 on 44. And then you've got Skanky Bobby on 34 in third. Welsh AK Bad Boy is joint fourth with 94001 on 30 points. Right off the top 5, you've got Maldovic on 28. In 7th place, Janine Talent. David Talent, a couple of weeks ago, only done 1 race here all the way through and got that to victory at Catalonia. So who knows if that's going to... Donington, sorry, not Catalonia. Be interested to see if he can actually put a challenge forward for the title. Paulie Dog, meanwhile, is in 8th place on 22 points. Then you've got Bagamo in 9th on 18th. And rounding off the top 10 is Kentucky Racer. So we are here live and courtesy of the old stream on Twitch.tv. We're going to be running off the qualifying, go to the grid as we speak. So let's get out there onto the track to see what's actually happening. Quite a lot going on here for all your viewing pleasure. So round the board at the moment with Bagamo in the BMW Z4, currently on a 123.6, which is good enough for 4th place at the time. Hartlow is actually on another lap at the moment. Bobley Swagger a 122.8 in the Audi R8 LMS, doing really well. Had a good run last week at Catalonia, and where he came second, when he came in 4th place to get some points, 10 points in total. And now 122.8 is good enough for P3, but is this a faster lap? All 4 tyres outside the line there, dropping down to 5th place at the moment at 122.5, so a lot faster place at the moment. Wash JK Bad Boy had a little bit of a strop because of a collision in practice before we started. The gentleman club driver, they'll say 122.4 gets in 4th place, and another 122.4 from Paulie Dog, also racing in the Audi R8 LMS. So it's an Audi R8 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment, almost straight at the Le Mans 24-hour. If you are watching this live on Twitch.tv, good evening to you. The chat box is actually open, so if you want to get any comments out there, we'll do our best to get you all intrigued. Janine Talent on a 121.8, meanwhile, he's showing his 2nd place at a 121.6 for Killer Ramsey. But with 93 points on the board out of 100, he's definitely the one to watch. So we'll ride up more with Janine Talent. Had a decent qualifying last week, did really well, got 2nd place at Catalonia, and then got disconnected in the race. Nothing worse for a driver. When you do so well, you get the pace down, you really work hard, and then it gets taken away with you due to courtesy of connection. So Janine Talent will really want to stomp his authority down here in California at Laguna Seca to really show that he's got the talent in this Mercedes SLS to really push on. As you head up towards the corkscrew, one of the most fearsome chicanes in all of motorsport, has a colossal 40-metre drop. That's better than most roller coasters in terms of gradient. Getting on board, let's see how close to the inside he gets. Clutches the inside apex beautifully and rides over the edge. Oh, a bit of a collision somewhere ahead there. But that's one of the BMW Z8 C4s. That might have been broken. Oh, and he's been impeded. I think that might have been Maldovic in the McLaren MP4-12C, who's kind of got in the way there. Poor form from the BMW Z4 driver. Commiserations there to Janine Talent. That was looking like a strong lap. And it was indeed Bagavo who went off the circuit and into the tyre barrier just after the corkscrew. Such a hard corner to get right, that the gradient is so tough. And look at this, in terms of the actual qualifying times, a 21.5 from Janine Talent is P1. Then we've got 121.6 from Killer Ramsey. Then we're back into the 22s. A Paulie Dog on the 22.4. Welsh JK Bad Boy 22.4. Bobby Swagger 22.5. And then Bagamo 22.9. So a lot of close racing behind these guys, all doing really well. Right on board with 94001. Currently running P4 in the championship. P7 on circuit here at Laguna Seca. Just got through the corkscrew, really finding it difficult in this qualifying session. Kicks up the gravel on the outside there. You really don't want to be doing that. Very unforgiving circuit. And you can see he's just got a little bit of a twitch there in the penultimate turn at turn 13. And that threw him off the circuit. It's going to have compromised him quite badly. And he's gone over the outside line, over the curb, pushing the limit as much as he dare in this RUF. Doesn't improve his lap time. Meanwhile, round up over System Flint in the absolutely horrendous Ginetta G55, an absolute beast of a car, lots of torque, very limited downforce. You can see that car snaking and twitching as he tries to get into the turns there, heading through, really struggling as we push into the second sector, kicks on the dust on the outside. The car fishtailing repeatedly as he's just trying his best to get through. Currently on a 1:23.8 is his best lap time at the moment. But heading into the corkscrew. Oh, big mistake. Oh, then I'd spin again. Oh, we've got some serious lag issues here because you saw that car spin out twice and go over, and yet it's still going in a straight line. So evidently, the glitch gremlin has decided to intervene here at Laguna Seca. Not what we need. Really, desperately not what we want to see here on the stream. But we're right up over System Flint. No idea if this is fast pace or not at the moment. Goes across the start-finish line. Does he improve his lap time? Doesn't seem to be registering one. Meanwhile, we've got Football 67611 in the BMW Z4, currently rounding out the top 10 on a 1:23.9. A good 2.5 seconds off the ultimate pace at the top of the order. And do you know what's strange about this qualifying session, viewers? They're on track and they're setting lap times as normal. What could I possibly be talking about here, of course? I'm referring to the Formula 1 qualifying, where last week in Australia we had that catastrophic Q3, where you had all drivers with the feet up with 5 minutes to go. Yeah, we're going to scrap it. We're going to go back to the old system. What happens? They've reinstated him in Bahrain. You could not make this up. It's an absolute farce, and Neil said no one is happy about it. As we see Football 67611 going off the track there at Laguna Seca's corkscrew, and there's a big build-up of traffic, and he's actually gone off the circuit completely, caught up in a turbulent air. Now Flipper Racing, one of the other BMW Z4 drivers, trying to get into the top 10. Not had a good couple of weeks of late. He didn't do that well at Catalonia, and evidently not liking this circuit in the desert here at Laguna Seca. Definitely a circuit where you've really got to get your line absolutely precise. No improvement from him. Bacon Bond 17, meanwhile, riding in the McLaren MP4-12C at the back of the order, the white and red livery, trying in the 1:24.5s was faster than me, and that's why I'm in the box. But needless to say, wants to try and get a bit further up the grid. Give himself that opportunity to really attack the points. At the corkscrew, taking it very gently on the inside. Oh, and he's got all 4 tyres over. Pretty much straight-lined it, almost like the great Alex Zanardi when he did the pass, as it was known in IndyCar. Well, needless to say, not legal, so there's no way that lap time is going to really count. I don't know if he said his lap time kind of slowed down by the game here. We'll ride on board to the end of the circuit. Laguna Seca, short, fast, rapid-fire corners, very few straightaways, lots of tight bends, deep gradients. Very, very easy to make mistakes and no improvement there. Meanwhile, Vickers VF1, another one of the McLaren MP4-12C drivers, 1:25.5 is his best at the moment. Is this going to be a better time from him? No, still no improvement at the top of the order from Vickers. Football's in the pits as a System Flint. 94001 just about to go on an outlet in the RUF. Meanwhile, Paulie Dog, a 1:22.4, that's got him all the way down in 7th place. Absolutely ridiculous there. Oh, as meanwhile, I think that might have been Knight, who was just about trying to come out the pits there. He almost went over the white lines, just realised at the last second, literally as he got to the white lines, he stopped and gone, oh, I've got to follow it round through the hairpin corner. Well, big respect to him for stopping the car and not gaining an advantage. It would have been so easy to continue that lap and get himself some kind of trouble. He got away with it. As Beverly Schwager's on a 1:22.1, heading through to turn 4 into the start of the second sector, where it's really very difficult. Lots of corners that are almost 90 degrees, but not quite got the sharpness that you have associated with the rest of the circuit. Heading out towards the end of sector 1, lap time so far is a 28.6. About par with Paulie Dog, and only a few tenths off Unique Talent, who's out on circuit at the moment as well. So we'll ride on board with Bubbly Swagger, just to see how he gets on. As he heads to Sector 2, kicks up the dust, goes a little wide there, really pushing the limit as much as he can on this narrow tarmac in the middle of the desert here in California. Here at the corkscrew, gets a nice roll on the inside, gets a bit wide on the apex of the second corner there, and very lucky to actually get that car turned in. Good driving so far, and you can really hear the power of that Audi R8 LMS trying to get the power down, but he's struggling so much with the increase in torque. We've only got 2 minutes, 24 seconds left of this session here. Heading over the start-finish line in a moment, goes wide outside the line there. All the drivers using the extra runoff as we head towards the end of the lap, and a 1:22.1 is improved, but he's not improved his position. Meanwhile, Killer Ramsey, now in 4th place, championship leader, won 3 out of 4 races, and he's down in 4th place at this moment in time. We'll ride over for the line now. Will this be an improvement as he heads for the start-finish line? No! Killer Ramsey has not improved. Well shaky bad boy Mules on a 121.6. Pagano, 121.6 came out of nowhere in the BMW and Janine Tartan, 121.5. So these drivers are all so insanely close at the top of the order. 121.7 was the last one. 121.5, 121.6, 121.6, 122.1, 122.1. Less than half a second between 6th place and 1st. Absolutely extraordinary. As Paulie Dog once again straight lines and hits the wall. Night 4001 meanwhile, the guy managed to stop it just on the pit marks. And 122.9 has got him all the way down in 8th place. He'll feel aggrieved by that because his pace looked pretty strong, but the pace at the top of the order has really been something else here. Into the final corner here at Laguna Seca, onto the home pit straight, gets over the outside line, heading towards the finish line. Is this going to be an improvement for Knight 4001? No improvement for him. System Fleet, meanwhile, is retired to the pits on a 123.8 and a 123.9. Most of the drivers are now in the box. There's very few drivers out on circuit. Killer Ramsey is one of them. Just going through the final corner now, heading towards the final turn. Is this going to be any kind of improvement? Is he going to gain any time? No, he's not. Killer Ramsey is going to start at the best for 4th place. Elsie's in the pit, so is Bagamo, so is Janine Talent. Very few drivers out on circuit in the moment. We've got Knight 4001, but I don't think he's going to make it round for this lap. System Fleet's in the pit, so is Football, so is Bacon Bonds, Ace Cal. Maldovic's also about to finish a lap, but no improvement here either. So I think we're pretty much set on the order at the moment. We're a bit of a shock, really, in many ways. Killer Ramsey starts from 4th place. He's totally off the podium. He's currently running in 1st place in the championship, though. So he's definitely got the advantage. But Janine Talent, winner of Donington Park, and very much in contention at Catalunya, has got pole position here at Laguna Seca. So definitely a great performance so far. Really good work from him at the top of the order. So we'll be getting ourselves out to the circuit very shortly. There is a very brief warm-up period though, a 5 minutes of warm-up to get to see the best of the drivers on the pits and on the circuit. So we'll ride on board and give you a little bit of coverage of these quick reconnaissance laps as they are, as soon as we find someone who's actually on a lap here. Someone give me a lap, please. Someone give me some coverage. Well, strangely, I've not got anyone who's actually showing us on circuit at the moment. We're right on board with Vickers at the moment, see if he can get us out there. He's leaving the pits now. Bacon Bonds just struggling to find anyone who's actually in the practice sessions at this moment in time. Of course, if you are watching this again live on the stream here, exclusive on twitch.tv, I'm Pete Marco for Excite Racing League, and you can get your questions into the box. The chat box is actually open, at least as far as I can tell it is. So I'll say a quick hello to you who are watching there outside. Indeed, messages just transmitted. So if you're watching online, please get your messages out there. I'll do my best to give you some kind of coverage. And needless to say, at the moment, really struggling to get any actual riders. System Flynn, let's ride up board with him. He's driving in that animal of the Ginetta G55, a car which has got so much torque and so little grip. A circuit like this where there's not much in the way of straightway, and there's a lot of tight bends, a lot of really difficult gradients, hairpin corners, chicanes. Not the kind of circuit where you want to be driving this animal of a car. But System Flynn kudos to him, is sticking with it. This is his outlap, of course. He's also been followed by one of the McLaren MP4-12Cs. Not sure who that is, actually. I think it might be Vickers F1. Then again, I don't really know, because a lot of drivers aren't even showing on the box at the moment. Because the camera has decided to film the outside circuits. Here we go. I think we better get back on board with System Flinks. It's the only one who's showing on the radar. Again, quick reconnaissance this, really, just to let the drivers get one final look before we find ourselves on the circuit. And GT Racing live here on twitch.tv. You can all get involved on the chat box. And if you've got anything to do with any other form of motorsport, whether it's Formula 1, whether it's World Endurance Cars, whether it's Le Mans, whatever it is you want to get talking about, get in the chat box and I'll do my best to give you as much coverage as possible. So, System Flint done a 140.15 for an outlap. Now, let's see what you can do on the one hot lap he's going to get in here, as there's only 2 minutes 15 seconds left of this session to go. And System Flint, the one who's really gone for the short straw in terms of the car, but has managed to get a rope around this and really done some good performances. He's not been anywhere near the podium, but he's certainly been impressing me with his ability to conquer his machinery. Definitely the kind of skill that is rewarded in a game like Project Cars. Meanwhile, on the stream, Weswick Gaming says, hello, Mr. Swishbone. Well, hello to you too, Wes. Good evening. Thank you for joining us live here on twitch.tv. And get your comments in about the latest development in Formula 1, that they've managed to bizarrely ditch a qualifying system and then bring it back. And also, your comments on the fact that they're going session exclusive in their live content from 2019. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. The public will not be able to see you. As System Flint crosses the line, it is a 1:26.2. Best that he's done thus far. But Janique Talent is on a 1:27.4. And he's probably just going to get round for another lap here at Laguna Seca. See what the Mercedes SLS does. See if it gets in that extra power. Gets in the extra pace to go through the circuit and really attack this here. Then up towards the corkscrew. One of the most famous, most fearsome chicanes in all of motorsport. Gets on the inside, the Batmobile front wing of the Mercedes SLS really digging in well. Surprising with the amount of centre of gravity that car has. Really done well to attack that and get plenty of pace in it. Going a little wide on the outside, they're kicking up the dust. Potentially dangerous over a long stint. But thus far, Janique Talent seems to be doing an impressive job. What's his final lap time going to be? Coming around the final corner, 20 seconds to go. Not long left now, but this one will count here. This little warlock to get a little bit of a scratch. He's on pole position already and does a 1:22.3. System Flint, meanwhile, trying to come round again. I don't think he's going to make it in the Jetta. Killer Ramsey's nowhere near it, and all the other guys are still in the box. Evidently, very few people wanted to get around. Meanwhile, Weswick Gaming says that F1 is just killing itself and would rather watch BTCC. I agree on that. BTCC is a hell of a lot of fun. You get 3 races in a day. You get the Formula Fords, you get the British Porsche Carrera Cups. You get so much action, and it's so easily watched. F1 really is missing a trick on that, in my opinion. But enough about F1 for the moment, because we are here live on the grid at Laguna Seca in California for round 5 of the PlayStation 4 GT3 division. This is going to be live and exclusive on twitch.tv. Or for those of you watching on the rewind, it's going to be lights out and away we go. And the race is underway now. Lights out, away we go. So heading into the box, getting onto the spectator as best we can. Storming through the race at the moment. Ace Car on the outside, trying to attack football. 6-7-1. And we've got 9-4-0-1 in the P. The RUF, but up ahead, 3 abreast into the main corner. Janique Talent is already down to 3rd place, but cuts underneath one of the BMW Z4s. I think that might have been the Pagano there, as Paulie Dog has been squeezed on the outside by one of the BMW Z4s, a Kentucky racer. Bit of contact there between the drivers. Paulie really missing out there. Killer Ramsey down at 9th place at the moment. Really struggling in the RUF. He's been passed by both Vickers F1 and Pagano in the BMW Z4. Heading further down, Paulie Dog in 6th place in the Audi, trying to attack the back of a Kentucky racer. System Flint is all the way in 4th place in the moment. Really good performance as Kentucky racer is being following masses of contact here. Bob Lee Slaughter in 3rd place, trying to attack the back of Welsh UK Bad Boy, who's already on that bit of spin there. Big bubbly swagger is all the way down the field. Absolutely extraordinary stuff. Vickers F1 meanwhile trying to get as close as he can. Killer Ramsey down in 8th place. He's trying to attack the head to the corkscrew. And Killer Ramsey gets a much better line than Vickers, who goes off the circuit. And he's done 2 people in 1 corner. Great job from Killer Ramsey as well. Aka Bad Boy tries to attack the back of Paulie Dog, who's doing a magnificent recovery in the Audi. While Aka Bad Boy fancies to move at the inside at the end of the first lap here. Paulie just hangs on. Killer Ramsey now is back in 5th place, being followed by Maldovic in the McLaren MB4-12C. A lot of drama through the field. Many drivers struggling to get this down here. Paulie Dog is in 2nd place, and you've got Kentucky Racer in 3rd. But out in 1st place is System Flint in the Ginetta G55. What the hell has happened there? Oh, well, you tell me, because it's got all glitchy, the clutch grab was interfered again. But while CK Bad Boy is chasing after his teammate Paulie Dog, who's chasing after the 2nd place BMW Z4 of Kentucky Racer. So while CK Bad Boy getting on the outside there at the end of sector 1, as he comes close to turn 5, trying to get as close as he can to the dirty air of his teammate. But it seems to me at the moment that Paulie Dog has broken free of him and is catching up to the back of the BMW Z4. But what happens to G Talon? The Mercedes SLS driver was in 1st place. All of a sudden, it's now disappearing, nowhere to be seen. As we come to the corkscrew, Paulie Dog trying to line up that BMW Z4 of Kentucky Racer. Meanwhile, System Flint, I don't know how he's doing this, he's leading in the Ginetta, but Kentucky Racer is attacking the back of him, and that's BMW Z4, really pressuring the drivers here. Meanwhile, Paulie Dog is trying to catch up meantime in the Audi R8 LMS. Behind him is this Killer Ramsey, who has got past Aka Bad Boy. Not sure how that happened, but a good recovery from Killer Ramsey, having been all the way down in 8th place. Don't forget, there's still 28 laps remaining here at Laguna Seca. It's fast and frenetic stuff. But Maldovic VF1 doing brilliantly in the McLaren MB4-12C was absolutely nowhere in qualifying, and he's hustling the back of Welsh Aka Bad Boy, who's currently running P5. Magnificent stuff. Meanwhile, moving forward, look at Kentucky Racer, it's all over the back of System Flint. As they come in the end of sector 1, but at the same time, Paulie Dog, Foss is getting in on this as well. They're side by side into turn 5, contact between Paulie Dog and Kentucky Racer. And that's going to allow the Killer Ramsey to sneak past the pair of them into 2nd place. What a sneaky move there. Killer Ramsey has got himself back towards the top after both Paulie Dog and Kentucky Racer got a little too racy at the end of sector 1. Into the corkscrew, and Kentucky Racer will be furious with Paulie Dog. Paulie Dog was like all over the back of him, but that's not the point. Kentucky Racer was all over the back of System Flint, who is now being pressured quite harshly by Killer Ramsey in the RUF. Shades of many a great Formula 1 driver. Meanwhile, I think what's happened there is that behind them, Kentucky Racer has been let back through by Paulie Dog, and that's allowed Welshie, aka Bad Boy, and Maldovic to close the gap. 27 laps remaining here at Laguna Seca. Pit stop windows open. Anyone can stop at any time. As Paulie Dog fancies a late lunge down to turn 1, realising he's just not going to be able to get closer to the back. But a wide run there for Kentucky Racer has kind of opened the door. Heading into turn 3, we were up ahead. Look at this. Killer Ramsey is all over the back of the current leader. And in fact, he's got through. He's got past System Flint. The cameras didn't keep up there. But System Flint has now fallen down. So I've made a mistake. Collision, System Flint spun out. And that's allowed the drivers, Welsh Aka Bad Boy, Paulie Dog, and Kentucky Racer to all go through. Disaster for the Ginetta driver, having led the race. Kentucky Racer back in 2nd place, being pressured by Paulie Dog in the Audi R8 LMS as we head towards the corkscrew. Both drivers really putting out a clinic here, close driving. Heads to the inside chicane there, you can see that Paulie Dog just hasn't quite got the confidence of the BMW Z4 driver. Moving further back, meanwhile, System Flint is now running in P4, but he's being pressured by Maldovic in the McLaren MP4-12C. And the bubbly Swagger is in 6th place. Welsh Aka Bad Boy all the way down in 7th. Not having a good race so far, Walsh. He's really struggled, but he's trying to attack the back of his teammate. And in fact, into the pits comes Bob Lee Swager. Bob Lee Swager decides to put a fresh pair of there. So Walsh again, my boys, in the pits. Bob Lee Swager in 6th place, being attacked by Maldovic. Up ahead, System Flint's breaking clear as Paulie Dog tries to get close to the back of Kentucky Racer in the BMW Z4. Really putting the pressure on in the Audi, but the Kentucky Racer's doing well to resist. But up ahead, Killer Ramsey has now stretched his legs and got quite a sizable lead, and he'll be looking forward to be able to move further into the lead of this race. Give you a quick rundown of positions. You've got Killer Ramsey in 1st place, Kentucky Racer in 2nd, Paulie Dog 3rd, System Flip 4th, Bob Swagger 5th, Pagano 6th, Liberation 7th, Football 6, 7, 6, number 1, 8th, Maldo, Obi-Wan, bit of an overtake here, as Kentucky Racer went a bit too wide in the corner before the corkscrew, and that's allowed Paulie Dog to sneak through a critical pass. Behind Maldovic, meanwhile, we've got 10th place Bacon Bonds rounding off the top 10. But Paulie Dog under big pressure here as Kentucky Racer gets closer to him in that BMW Z4. These two drivers are broken clear of System Flint and they've got put on a battle for the podium. But all already, Kentucky Racer, look how close he is to the back of Paulie Dog. Really muscling the back of that Audi. Pressuring the driver, trying to keep up that force. Make that mistake. Kentucky Racer goes a little wide, tries to attack the back of Paulie Dog. Paulie Dog resisting the pressure thus far as we go out of turn 1. But Kentucky Racer still hanging on, looking at the inside of 2 and 3 there, trying to sneak a move at the end of sector 1. All the drivers really pushing hard, despite the narrow nature of Laguna Seca, despite how twisty it is, despite the gradients. They're all pushing very hard indeed. As Kentucky Racer looks at the back of Paulie Dog, but Paulie Dog seems to have got a little bit of a gap there. As they head at the end of sector 1 and towards sector 2, you can definitely see that gap has opened up a little bit as Kentucky Racer is struggling in that BMW Z4, finding it more tricky to get the power down, and Paulie Dog taking full advantage. So Killer Ramsey out in 1st place, Paulie Dog in 2nd, being followed by Kentucky Racer. Then in 4th place you got Bob Lee Swager, who's already got past System Flint. So System Flint falling a bit further back down the order now as Bob Lee Swager fights his way through. The Ginetta just not quite got the grip needed to put on the fight here. Pagano in 7th place. There you go, Flipper Racer in 7th, and Football 6-7, being chased by Maldovic, who's got his teammate Bacon Bonds at the end of the top 10. We'll stay on board here for a while. Get a bit of coverage at the back of the points as Maldovic is being chased by Bacon Bonds into the final corner, heading out towards turn 1 here at Laguna Seca. For those of you watching on the stream live, exclusive on twitch.tv, the chat box is open. You got any comments to make about the standard of racing or about motorsport in general? Get it out there. I'll do my best to get you covered and give you a shout out here on the stream. Heading into turn 1, Maldovic gets a bit of a tighter line than Bacon Bonds there. Bacon Bonds had to get out the gas a little bit to be able to try and force that car in. And that's allowed Maldovic to just stretch his legs a little bit just to try and get towards the back. And they're all a big mistake though. Maldovic, don't know what happened there, seems to lose all power. In fact, it's like he's lost all fuel. And he's under big pressure now as Knight 4001 in the RUS smells blood in the water, goes around the outside, kicks up the dust. Heading towards the end of sector 1, Knight 4001 in the RUF, trying to get into the top 10 points, trying to get those big scores on the board, trying to get himself back into the championship. But so far, Maldovic resisting at this time. But Knight 4001 smells the chance to get back through here in the RUF. Up ahead, Bacon Bonds now attacking the back of System Flint, who's fallen all the way to 8th. Really struggling down that Ginetta. Look how wide he went there. Off the circuit, and Bacon Bonds, brave, committed driving, went right up the inside. It was such a difficult manoeuvre that, because there was always a risk that System Flint was going to sideswipe him as he came back onto the circuit. Great driving. There's also Knight 4001 kicks him a bit too much dust and he gets into the wake of Maldovic VF1 in that McLaren MP4-127. 12C. As we head towards turn 1, 23 laps to go here at Laguna Seca. It's definitely a marathon rather than a sprint, this one. But Night 4001 really attacking, really pushing as hard as he can. But he's just not able to close the gap. Maldovic doing a commendable job of resisting the pressure. But up ahead, meanwhile, Bacon Bonds looking to attack the back of Flipper Racing, and look how close this is. Bacon Bonds in the McLaren MP4-12C sizes up the move on Flipper Racing in the BMW Z4, pulls out of the slipstream, gets on the inside. Are we going to see a magnificent late-breaking move? A great drive for Flipper Racing. Some wall of death around the outside and keep that position. As System Flint and the Ginetta G55 tries to catch up to the pair of the Bacon Bonds and the McLaren. Impressing me so far, doing a good job, hanging out those lower end of the points. Doing what he can to do it safely, do it cleanly, and do it clearly. Oh, late move! Unbelievable! Into the corkscrew, but a bit of collision. Both drivers spin across, and that collects the Ginetta G55 System Flint. Oh, disaster. Flipper Racing almost takes out the back of one of the McLarens. That's Maldovic there. System Flint's now in 7th place. Has he been able to scythe his way through the traffic? Well, that was a risky move from Bacon Bonds. Just as I was picking him up, just as I was saying what driving he was doing, he took a suicidal lunge into the corkscrew, and that ended in tears. Vickers, meanwhile, being chased by Maldovic, the battle on the McLaren MP4-12Cs at the bottom end of the points, the battle between 2 points and from 1 point. But these drivers don't care. It might as well be a championship as they're getting into each other's slipstream, trying to force the mistakes, trying to force each other wide. Maldovic taking up a much tighter line there, going through the second part of turn 1. But Vickers hanging on in the McLaren MP4-12C. Drivers snaking left and right as they're struggling to get the power down on this dusty, dirty desert circuit. And all the drivers trying to catch up to Flipper Racing. System Flint in 7th place, Flipper Racing in 8th. Moving further forward, meanwhile, Pagano's now in 5th place, Bobley Swaga in 4th. We got Kentucky Racer in 3rd place, and a bit of a gap to Paulie Dog and Killer Ramsey. So there's gaps all through the field at the moment, realistically. Pagano's not too far behind Bobley Swaga, but all the action is at the back end of the point. So let's stay on board there. Slipper Racing watches as leads the McLarens and Bigekas F1. Maldovic has a better drive at the second part of the corkscrew. Tries to go around the outside. Vickers taking the wider inside line, trying to cut him off in the middle of the circuit. Maldovic all over the back of that gearbox. The McLarens like fire and ice. Both drivers trying to accelerate against each other. Just not able to break the toe here at the moment. Behind them, meanwhile, Night 4001 in the RUF is smelling the chance to get himself past the pair of them as Vickers hangs on against Maldovic. 21 laps to go here on Laguna Seca. Vickers VF1 being challenged by Maldovic, and behind him Night 4001. Both drivers going a little too close to the inside there at the second turn, kicking up the dust, losing the grip, which puts them a little bit wide, and as a result, Vickers, what's this? I think that might be Ginetta G55. Indeed, it is. System Flint has just let Vickers through, and he's now under real pressure here because he's got Maldovic already going through. Oh, Night 4001 nearly rear-ended the back of Maldovic as he heads towards the corkscrew. The RUF looking to size him up here as he heads to this tricky downhill chicane. Gets into the wake of the Vickers F1. Oh, collision! Night 4001 and System Flint had an incident at the top of the corkscrew. Not quite sure what happened there, but both drivers went right off. System Flint almost into the tyre wall. Managed to just about get away with that. Ace Keller in the meanwhile in the McLaren is now trying to hold himself towards the points as System Flint does his best to recover. But a big mistake there, unbelievable driving. Night 4001 looking at the back of Maldovic, trying to close that gap and get himself further up the points as Vickers is now looking to get on the offensive and get after Flipper Racing. Has got a little bit of a gap ahead of him. Football meanwhile 7671 in the BMW Z4 running in 6th place. We've got Pagavo still trying to close up to the back of Bobby Swagger. Not much in it really. These two drivers quite close together. Then you've got Kentucky Racer, who's got a few more seconds on the field going through the corkscrew. You've got Paulie Dog, who's ahead of him, almost near the end of the lap. But then you've got Killer Ramsey, who's a long way in front, looking like it's going to get a mighty 4th victory out of 5. Really stamping his authority on this championship. But let's ride on board here as we got Vickers VF1 trying to get close to the back of the RUF of Flipper Racing. But Maldovic is under pressure from Night 4001, who behind him has got Ace Killer closing in the gap. These drivers all putting their lives on the line here, really attacking this circuit. Night 4001 trying to get closer to the back of Maldovic, but Maldovic is looking at the aggressive here, trying to get on the inside of Vickers in the McLaren, but further back, I think that might be System Flint, who's under big pressure here from Welshie, aka Bad Boy. Don't forget, Welshie has been in the pits. No one else has been in for their stop yet, and Welshie is all over him like an absolute rash here, drag racing down the pit straight, heading into the kink at the top of the hill, down towards turn 1. Can System Flint come back in the Ginetta G55, or is Welshie, aka Bad Boy, going to finally be free of him? He goes a little bit wide there, Welshie, taking the karting line almost. System Flint tried to go on the inside, but just did not have the grip, and Welshie makes that move stick. So Ace Killer on the fringe of the points in 11th place, trying to get after the back of Night 4001. But meanwhile, Night is just not close enough to the back of this chain of drivers. Maldovic trying to close up to the back of Vickers in the McLaren MP4-12C. All these drivers really impressing me tonight, but close to the driving. But there's been some rash collisions as well. It's been action-packed, balls to the wall stuff here at Laguna, Seca, California. Maldovic gets much better drive up the corkscrew than Vickers there, and that allows us to get really close to the back of that rival, getting closer into the sector of 3. This is an opportunity now for Maldovic to stamp his way through and try and get past Vickers, who's been holding him up for some time. Not because he's been driving badly, quite the opposite. He's been driving magnificently well, but Maldovic just does not seem to get the drive off that final corner down towards turn 1, and that's hurting him because that's the one chance he's got to really close the gap. Meanwhile, Welshie, aka Bad Boy, is now siving his way through the field, currently chasing after Night 4001 in the RUF. Welshie, aka Bad Boy, trying to recover after those opening incidents on the opening laps. Meanwhile, Flipper Racing has been caught by Vickers, so it's becoming a 5-car train slowly but surely. But behind them, meanwhile, look at this. Ace Killer has got System Flint all over the back of him. It's McLaren versus Ginetta heading into the Sector 2. This is not even a battle for the points, but the drivers are really pushing it. System Flint will be gutted considering he was leading the race early on. But what drive on the outside there? Can he make the stick? This will be an unconventional overtaking place if he makes it go through. And what driving from System Flint there? Great performance to get past Ace Killer. Welshie, aka Bad Boy, all over the back of Night 4001. The RUF driver really feeling the pressure as the Audi R8 LMS is really screaming down upon him, bearing down quickly. And they're both catching the back of Maldovic as a little fire is lit under the wick on Night 4001. Meanwhile, Maldovic dives into the pits. He's decided the time is right to put a fresh pair of boots on and get himself out of the traffic. Quite strategic that, because that's going to get him in clean air. But look how close Welshie is. Meanwhile, I think that might be Bobby Swagger. And Welshie trying to use the pit lane to overtake Night 4001 into turn 1. Has he gone too deep? Can Night fight back on the second part of the corner? No, he can't. Welshie makes a classic overtaking move. Meanwhile, Vickers VF1 is trying to catch up to the back of the BMW Z4 being driven by Flipper Racing. Flipper Racing has been alright to hang on to the mid-points here, but Welshie, aka Bad Boy, is bearing down on the pair of them and is dragging Night 4001 with him for the ride. So it's definitely opportunity knocking here for Welshie, aka Bad Boy. He wants to get past Vickers as quick as possible. He might fancy out dragging him towards the corkscrew here, but gets a bit of a mess in that corner, loses all the grip, and Night 4001 opportunistic driving to get get back through. Welshie will be furious as 94001 slows him up in the corkscrew. Welshie again, Bad Boy, trying so much to get by the RUF, diving up the inside as much as he dare, but he's just not got the grip. Flipper Racing watches hanging on. Meanwhile, Welshie tries to dive up turn 13, trying to which way and that way as 94001 tries to go around the inside, collision with Vickers, and that allows Welshie to side past the pair of them. Knight will be furious with that. Got his braking point all wrong, went up the inside and contact was made. Welshie, aka Bad Boy, trying to side back through the field, but let's ride a ball with this little duel now between Vickers and Knight 4001. Knight will probably get an earful at the moment in gaming chat for that one, as that was a very late lunge as the sun has started to set here in Laguna Seca. You can see the orange hue, and the last few laps are likely to take place in total darkness, so that'll really separate the drivers as you see the lack of visibility. But meanwhile, look at this. Flipper Racing under real pressure here, but Welshie here, Bad Boy just clean drives past him. Has so much more grip coming out of that corner, and that allows him to get through with relative ease. Knight 4001 trying to catch up to the back of these guys, just not quite got the pace. Moving further up the field, Football 671 still hanging out to 5th place as Killer Ramsey, the leader, is coming out of the pits in 4th place. That's pretty much net the lead, though, because Bagavo and Killer Kentucky Racer and Paulie Dog are not that far ahead. But you can really see the difference here as Kentucky Racer has got a little bit of a gap to Paulie Dog. Paulie Dog now needs to get the hammer down and try and get these laps in quickly. He doesn't want to come out behind Killer Ramsey. Killer Ramsey, though, has got clean air. He's crucially pitted at the right time. He's not come out in the middle of a battle, like, say, for example, between Flipper Racing and Knight 4001. He's not. Oh, Flipper Racing goes deep at turn 1, and Knight 4001 simply goes, thank you very much. I'll have some of that, and take 7th place away from him. Flipper Racing evidently at the end of his tyre life now. Ace Killer and the McLaren bearing down on him quickly as that Knight 4001 has started to drive away. Bob Lee Swagger is now in 6th place, having come out behind his teammate in the pits. Actually, no, he hasn't, because Welshie is down in 10th place now. I'm not sure if there was a collision on circuit there, but Welshie's really come off badly in that one. Flipper Racing currently hanging on in 8th place at this time, Knight 4001. Bob Lee Swagger doing a decent job for the Audi R8 LMS, running in P6. And then you got Football 67611. Needs to pit at some point. Indeed, does in the box now. Question is, will Bob Lee Swagger follow him through? Or will Bob Lee Swagger want to try and hang on? Bearing in mind, as the sun goes down, the temperature will also drop. Therefore, getting the heat into the tyres will be that much more difficult. But Bob Lee Swagger is not going to go yet. He wants to get going and keep going through the circuit here. Bob Lee Swagger has now just gone by into 5th place. Killer Ramsey in 4th. Not really bearing down on Bagavo, so we've got gaps in the field, really. We've got Ace Killer, Knight 4001, Ace Killer in 7th place, trying as best as he can to get himself back towards the sharp end of the points. Welshie, aka Bad Boy, now in 8th place, ahead of Flipper Racing. Pretty much half distance completed now. 14 laps remain at Laguna Seca. Flipper Racing attacking as much as he dares in this BMW Z4. But Welshie, aka Bad Boy, trying to recover some ground after that opening segment. He'll be disappointed how that came. He just struggled so much with the power. Struggled so much with the performance. Really found it difficult. Ace Killer is in 7th place. The Knight 4001 in the RUF. Attacking as much as he can, but unfortunately we've got some gaps in the field here. So I'll give you a quick rundown of the positions and the fastest laps. We've got Paulie Dog in 1st place, who hasn't yet to pit. He's done 1:23.2 as his best. Bagavo's in 2nd, his best is a 1:22.7. Killer Ramsey now in 3rd place, done a 1:22.2. Kentucky Racer in 4th on a 1:22.7. Bob Lee Swagger 5th place on a 1:22.9. Knight 4001 a 1:25.0, and yet he's running in 6th place. 7th place Ace Killer on 1:24.7. Welshie, aka Bad Boy, despite his 1 lap pace on 1:22.6, he's down to 7th place. Then you got Ace Killer on 1:24.7 in the McLaren. Flipper Racing on a 1:24.4. Oh, 1:24.1, sorry, in the BMW, and then round off the top 10, we've got Football 67611 on 1:24.7 in the BMW Z4. Well, Walsh AK Bad Boy's got by Ace Killer. Kentucky Racer in 4th place has been passed by Killer Ramsey. Evidently looks like a pit stop assistant window to me. Paulie Dog is going through into 2nd place, keeping that position, and so is Bagavo. As 13 laps remain here at Laguna Seca, and you can see the headlights are on. The sun has pretty much dipped away. It's only at the back end of the circuit where you're really seeing that solar flare now. So the drivers are going to really struggle to see the circuit here. Laguna Seca, not renowned for its night racing, is not lit up. So it's really a challenge for the drivers as you find your way threading the needle at 180 miles an hour. Bobbly Swagger being followed by Walsh aka Bad Boy, who's quite a way behind him. And then you've got Ace Killer 7, who's not that far behind a drift of Welshie, but isn't any real threats at the moment. Killer Ramsey in 3rd place, trying to chase after Bagavo, but the gap is just a little too wide. Unfortunately, we're at that lull at the moment where the drivers at the front have yet to pit. But when they do, they're going to come out around the like of Welsh AK Bad Boy, around the like of Bobbly Swagger. So we could be in for an absolute corker of a final stint here. 12 laps remain at Laguna Seca. The night closing in, the darkness falling, and the challenge ever raising. Most of the drivers have been quite clean in terms of the track limits today, apart from maybe the final corner. Most drivers are trying to keep it in the line as much as they can, trying to get the pace through, get much power down and time as possible out of these cars. Bobbly Swagger in 5th place, up against Kentucky Racer. Fastest lap time is Kentucky Racer at this moment. Killer Ramsey, though, in 3rd place. It's not too far adrift of Bagavo now. Bagavo is still yet to pit, same as Paulie Dog. But Paulie Dog is not that far ahead as Bagavo tries to thread his way through the field, passing Maldovic firstly, and he'll be catching up to Vickers in the 2nd McLaren here. Now, if Maldovic has any sense, he'd try and get into the toe of that BMW Z4 of Bagavo and try and take advantage as he unlaps himself. And indeed he does! What drive from Maldovic? He follows the BMW Z4 through. Masterful driving. Oh, Vickers! Vickers has spun out. I'm not sure what happened there. Maldovic did a genius overtake, slipping into the slipstream with the lap driver, but then just seemed to lose it under power. Not quite sure what happened. Meanwhile, that gap between Paulie Dog and between Bagavo has really come down as we head towards the corkscrew. 11 laps remain here at Laguna Seca. Almost at 2. Oh, Bagavo! He's gone way off the circuit at the corkscrew. He completely got that wrong. And Killer Ramsey is surely going to pass him now. Moving back through the field, Ace Killer and then Football 6-1 Maldovic and then Vickers is way down at the back of the field. Bobbly Swagger trying to catch up to the back of Kentucky Racer, but Kentucky Racer just seems to have the edge going into the corkscrew. Meanwhile, Killer Ramsey in 3rd place is not that far adrift of Bagavo now. Bagavo is all over. That's not even sure where Bagavo is. Paulie Dog has gone through turn 1. Bagavo is in the pits, so here we go. This is where Killer Ramsey has already gone to 2nd place. He's got by Bagavo. He's managed to achieve that, so that's got him through ahead of that BMW Z4 driver. It was crucially cleared him because now it's game on between Killer Ramsey and Paulie Dog. Can Paulie Dog stretch the lead? Can he get the time in this car to keep that lead position when he goes into the box? Or will Killer Ramsey just have the pace to catch him up? As Kentucky Racer is now in 3rd place ahead of Bagavo in the BMW Z4. And in fact, Bobbly Swagger looks like he's going to get by here. Oh, this is going to be mighty close. Coming out of turn 1, is Bobbly Swagger going to come out ahead? No, he's not. He's just behind Bagavo. But crucially, Bobbly Swagger's tyres will be up to temperature, whereas Bagavo has got that cold rubber. He's only just had those fitted. That pair of boots will not feel primed just yet. And Bobbly Swagger now has a chance getting into the wake of that BMW Z4. As night really has closed in here at Laguna Seca. Very little sunlight left now as the drivers come up to the crest towards the corkscrew. And you can see that Bobbly Swagger has actually fallen away a little bit from Bagavo. Bit of a surprise that, considering Bagavo will have the colder tyres heading towards the corkscrew. Bobbly Swagger isn't close enough to make any kind of move here into the chicane. No, he isn't. He's just too far adrift. And in fact, he goes very wide at that chicane there, and that loses him a lot of position time on Bagavo. Paulie Dog, meanwhile, has been passed by Killer Ramsey, but there's not much in it. These two are right next to each other. Look at this. Over 94001. The RUF driver doing the knee on the floor for the team. Getting in the way of Paulie Dog. Not really impeding him because he just joined the circuit. But Killer Ramsey will be pleased that one of the lower drivers in the RUF has done him a favour, and that's given him the chance to take this 4th victory from 5. But there's 9 laps remaining here at Laguna Seca. There's still time for sting in the tail. Anything could possibly happen now. Paulie Dog trying to catch up to 94001, clear him and get onto the back of Killer Ramsey as the tyres will last a bit longer on the Audi as he's done the long stint, whereas Killer Ramsey did the medium stint. So the tyres wear will just go in his favour. Is that going to be enough as 94001 nearly spins out there, drifts the car, but great run from Paulie Dog, reads that, goes to the outside, and that gets him clear of that lap traffic and allows it to start getting after Killer Ramsey. But Ramsey has the gap, and that is probably going to be more than enough at this time. But there's still a long way to go. 8 laps remain here at Laguna Seca as Bobbly Swagger is still trying to catch up to the back of Bagarvo in the BMW Z4. But you can see that Bagarvo has just got the legs to hang on. Evidently, the short straight here at the start of the circuit lap is doing just enough to get him through. Moving back through the field, you can see Bobbly Swagger trying to catch up. Well, Seca, Bad Boy, pretty much on his own. Ace Killer in the same position as behind in Football 6761. Then you got Maldovic in 9th and 94001 being chased by System Flint, but there's not much in it at the moment. So we're going to go back to the lead race here as Paulie Dog is watching on. Kentucky Race has just gone through the corkscrew. As Paulie Dog gets there, there's not much in it here. Paulie Dog may fancy his chances as he's only a few seconds adrift of Killer Ramsey in the RUF. All it's going to take is one piece of lap traffic getting in the way, one mistake in the going deep in one of the corners, and Paulie Dog is right back into this to give him a chance to get back on the lead podium position. But if I'd have followed Paulie Dog, 1:23.3 was his last lap. Heading out towards turn 1 as he tries to attack the back of Killer Ramsey. The headlights on full beam now. The darkness almost total. And you can really see that Killer Ramsey's got a little bit of a stretched leg lead there. Not much in there at this moment, but will he have the laps to close him down? Because Killer Ramsey, don't forget, he pitted around lap 15. So his tyres, while they're going to be poorer than Paulie Dog's, they're not going to be dead. Paulie Dog heading up towards the corkscrew, trying to catch up to the back of the extremely fast driving Killer Ramsey, who, let's not forget, went down to 8th place on the opening lap. He had a catastrophic lap at the start, but managed to turn it back around. Paulie Dog, meanwhile, he initially had the lead, then dropped into the mid-pack and has clawed his way back to 2nd place. It's still been a great drive from the Audi R8 LMS driver, but Killer Ramsey just looks like he's had that pace. As I go back through the fastest laps, you can see his fastest is a 1:22.2, whereas Paulie Dog's is a 1:23.2. A full second difference in terms of lap time. Killer Ramsey able to pull it out. Killer Ramsey trying to pull away, trying to keep that lead as Kentucky Racer has got Bagarvo in 4th, and then Bobbly Swagger not too far adrift of the 5th place BMW Z4 driver. But I get the feeling that this race now is very much Killer Ramsey's to lose. But commentators curse has happened before, so let's not think this race is over by any stretch of the imagination. System Flint, now running in P10, has got Night 4001 not too far behind him. So the Ginetta driver and the RUF are the closest on circuit at the moment. So we're right on board here as we see that System Flint, he'll be very disappointed to be running down in 10th place, having actually had the lead of the race at one point earlier on. It just goes to show how much... Oh! Big mistake, he's taken the inside line there, too much torque. And that's allowed Night 4001 to close right up to the back of that Ginetta G55. The RUF is so much more planted, so much easier to drive, going on the outside of the final corner there. And the RUF of the Night 4001 attacking the Ginetta G55 System Flint. Night 4001 goes wide, has to get extra brake and slow the car down. That allows System Flint a crucial bit of breathing room as they head down towards turn 1. System Flint in the Ginetta G55 attacking as much as he dares. 5 laps remain, that's all we got now. This race has been an absolute blur. Really fast driving from these guys. Heading up the inside, you can really see how much that the RUF has just got the grip over that Ginetta G55. The RUF really struggling. Night 4001 all over the back of System Flint at the end of sector 2. Heading towards it. We've seen Night 4001 try this move a few times before, but meanwhile Night has got a lap car behind him. I think that actually might be Kentucky Racer in the BMW Z4 trying to get past them here. Night 4001 looking at the back of System Flint. He'll be getting the blue flags telling him to get out of the way, but at the same time, he's in a race. He can't do that at the moment. Heading into the corkscrew. Whoa, Kentucky Racer fancied a lunge there, I think, as he went up the inside of Night 4001. But Night 4001 not really trying to resist him as System Flint clips the curb, pops a wheel, and now Night 4001 tries to undercut the back as System Flint gets into the slipstream, pulls into the left, almost into the pits there. And meanwhile, look at this. Oh, absolutely extraordinary. Kentucky Racer will be absolutely furious as he's stuck behind these guys, basically saying, get out of my way. But they're not yielding. Both drivers, System Flint and Night 4001. And finally, Night 4001. Oh, there's contact with Kentucky Racer. Kentucky Racer will be slamming his steering wheel in frustration, saying, get these drivers out of my way. He wants to march off 3rd place, not battle the back of the points. These drivers are battling for 1 point, apart from the driver, the BMW Z4. But look at this. System Flint being so defensive. Night 4001 is really pressuring the back. Shades of Alonso and Schumacher at Imola in 2005. Oh! No, catastrophic! Night 4001 tags the BMW Z4, and that's a disaster. But Kentucky Racer is under real pressure here. He's been passed by Bergamo, and Bobley Swager is not too far behind him either. That was an absolute farce. Bergamo will be delighted. Kentucky Racer will be furious as Night 4001 definitely made contact on the outside of the corner and took him out. And he held him up for a long, long time. Kentucky Racer will be seething. Kentucky Racer trying to get himself back on the podium for BMW, looking at the back of Bergamo. One of his faux teammates is Kellen Ramsey. Comes up towards the corkscrew. We've only got 3 laps remaining here. This has been an absolute blur of a race. Really fast-paced driving from these guys. Really high-octane stuff. But again, that incident is definitely going to be investigated by the stewards, because you can really see just how much Kentucky Racer was held up. He struggled so much to fight his way by, as both Night 4001 and System Flint both put on an absolute clinic of a race. They were really racing close and aggressive, very defensive driving, but ultimately one of them should have yielded for the blue flags. And that person really should have been Night 4001, because he was behind System Flint. And at the end of the day, you only have to look at the way that Maldovic got past Vickers early in the race. He let the driver through. got into the slipstream and followed him through to take that position. Bagavo on for a podium position, and Paulie Dog in second place as Killer Ramsey looks like he's got this under control with two laps remaining here. Bubbly Swagger trying to get close to the back of Kentucky Racer, probably a bit too far behind. Pardon me. So Bubbly Swagger driving for Audi R8 LMS, trying to catch up to the back. While Shaky Bad Boy in 6th place, trying to hang on. Kentucky Racer looking at the back of Bagavo. There's not much between these two drivers now. Only a few seconds difference, but not really enough for 2 laps. All eyes on Bubbly Swagger, currently running in P5, trying to attack the back of Kentucky Racer in the BMW Z4, but I don't think he's close enough. Just lacking that crucial gap. So we are getting to that point where it's towards the end of the race. Killer Ramsey, once again, really showing his class in this division. He's on the final lap. He's just started it now. And Killer Ramsey can feel this 4th victory from 5. It's not been the easiest race for him. He found himself right in the wars at the start after that disaster. But he's currently going his way around. It's almost like a victory lap for him in the RUF. He's been fast. He's been aggressive. He's done everything he needed. Kentucky Racer, meanwhile, will still be furious over that collision, which took him out with the back marker 94001. Meanwhile, H Killer has got Well Shaky Bad Boy only a few seconds ahead of him. But you get the feeling it's probably going to be a little case of too little, too late, really, from the McLaren driver. But he's not giving up. He's definitely doing his best. As meanwhile, out further down the field, you've got Football, and then Maldovic is all over the back of another vehicle. It might be one of the lead cars, and System Flint in the Ginetta G55 has not got anyone anywhere near him. So he's going to hang on for those 10 points, for that 1 point for 10th place. Yeah, you can just see the gap between Welshie and Ace Killer. It's come down quite significantly here. Ace Killer has not had the fastness of 1 lap pace, but evidently he's done something consistent because he's got the much faster Audi driver not that far ahead of him. As we're on the final lap, and Killer Ramsey is coming his way around towards the end of the circuit. He's just crossed the finish line now to take that magnificent victory. 4 from 5. Aside from Donington Park, it's been pretty much a sweep. And he's definitely the odds-on favourite for the title. But Jenson Button had a very similar start to 2009. And look at how he had to cling on for the final races. The season's not over until the fat lady sings. System Flint is now showing in P7 mysteriously. I think this is just due to the way that the cars are all coming back to the circuits. So we'll wait for the final results to come through. But needless to say, what a race. Really, really special stuff. All eyes very much on Killer Ramsey, who did an amazing job to come back from 8th place on the first lap to take victory here at Laguna Seca. A very tight, very twisty circuit. And it's the first time ever we've had a stream which has been just over an hour in length. Well, maybe we should have done a few more laps, who knows. But Paulie Dog is in 2nd place. Bagavo very much trying to catch up in 3rd place to retain that 3rd position. And you've got Kentucky Racer going very slowly indeed in the BMW Z4. So there we go. The final result is in. And you can see that Killer Ramsey was in 1st place. And then you got Paulie Dog 2nd, Bagavo in 3rd, Kentucky Racer 4th, Bubbly Swagger in 5th. You got Well Shaky Bad Boy in 6th, Ace Killer 7th, Football 676 number 1 in 8th. You got System Flint in 9th, and then Maldovic rounding off the top 10. Great driving from all, absolutely extraordinary. So, needless to say, it was not quite the stream you all expected. It's not quite the pace you all expected. But needless to say, the drivers have all put on an absolute aggressive race here. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you all very much for watching. and good night.